Well, hello, Ger. Today I'm going to talk about the expression to chance your arm, which means to have a go or to take a risk. But I wonder how many people know this originated in Ireland in 1492, when two Irish families, the Butlers of Ormond and the Fitzgeralds of Kildare, were in dispute as to which family should hold the position of Lord Deputy. When I say in dispute, that was putting it mildly. The fact is, they were not only arguing about it, they were ferociously fighting one another outside the city walls. At some point, the Butlers decided it was necessary to take refuge, so they ran into the city and locked themselves into the chapter house of St. Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin. The Fitzgeralds followed them and actually offered the Butlers the possibility of making peace. Not surprisingly, the Butlers were suspicious and reluctant to leave the chapter house, thinking it was a trick and that they would lose their lives. However, to show them that he was in good faith, Gerald Fitzgerald asked for a hole to be cut in the door of the chapter house. When this was done, he then thrust his hand through the hole and asked the Butlers to see that this was a gesture of goodwill and that he really wanted to make peace. The Butlers, seeing that Gerald Fitzgerald had risked putting his arm through the hole in the door, took it as a genuine sign that he was in earnest and that he really wanted to make peace. The Butlers shook hands with Fitzgerald, and they carefully opened the door and came out slowly. The two families were reconciled and made peace. The door of the chapter house still has that hole in it to this day, and it is called the Door of Reconciliation. The door is on display in St. Patrick's Cathedral, Dublin. Since then, we have the expression to chance your arm. So, another interesting place to visit the next time you go to Dublin. Well, when we are talking about chancing your arm and about Irish words and expressions which have found their way into English, we mustn't forget the word Tory. Have you ever wondered why the Conservative Party members are called Tories? The word Tory comes from Middle Irish. The verb tor means to pursue, and the noun Tory means a rebel or one who is on the run. Surprisingly, the main party in Westminster today chose the word Tory for their political party. Some time ago, I spoke about Tory Island off the coast of Donegal in Ireland, and it was there that O'Doherty led a party of Irishmen to fight against the English Crown forces in 1608. O'Doherty was killed, and the siege of Tory Island came to an end. Those who had rebelled became known as Tories. So no doubt the word Tory came to mean rebels. The name Tory for the Conservatives originated during what was called the Exclusion Crisis from 1679 to 1681. The Whigs wanted to pass a law saying a Catholic could not succeed to the English throne. When Charles II died, in 1685, the Whigamore party wanted to exclude James from succeeding his brother Charles as heir to the throne in England. The Whigs were Scottish Presbyterians who were against the established church, and their objection to James was that he was a Catholic. The other party in Parliament who supported James's claim to succession and agreed that he should be allowed to succeed to the throne became known as the Tories. The Tories won, and James became king. However, his reign was short, as he was defeated in 1690 in the Battle of the Boyne by his son-in-law, William of Orange. The interesting thing is that although the Tories had initially supported Catholic King James, as time went on, they became more linked to Anglicanism alongside monarchism and patriotism. Well, what is really surprising is that the name Tory has remained with the party right up to the present. In fact, the term Conservative was not widely used until the 1830s. Britain's oldest political party still uses the term Tory, as that was the party's name before the name Conservative. In fact, the party had no written constitution until 1998, and it was only then that the official name of the party became the Conservative Party. However, as we see today, the members of the Conservative Party still preserve the name and are proud to call themselves Tories. And while we're talking about interesting names, I wonder how many people have heard of the word quark. If you look it up in the dictionary, you will see that the word quark refers to a subatomic particle, that is, a particle that is even smaller than an atom. The American theoretical scientist Murray Gell-Mann was awarded the Nobel Prize for his discovery. But guess where he got the name quark from? Actually, he originally had thought of the word quark, but then changed it to quark. Now, we would normally imagine that it would come from something like Greek or Latin, but no, it came from reading James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake, a very difficult book for anyone to read. Joyce uses the term quark to describe the onomatopoeic sound made by gulls when he writes, 3 quarks for Muster Mark. Sure, he hasn't got much of a bark. And sure, any he has, it's all beside the mark. Now, you can just imagine that famous scientist reading such a complicated text. But then he is undoubtedly among the elite few who would even attempt to read Finnegan's Wake. It takes a superior mind of a theoretical physicist to demonstrate that science and arts are complementary forms of knowledge. Strange, isn't it, that a Nobel scientist would choose the word quark for a particle which is smaller than an atom, and also that he chose it from James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake.